Hey guys, this is the new and improved way to scan a wash impression and keep the exact same design for complete upper and lower dentures. The previous method didn't really work that perfectly, and I want it to be perfect, so this is a better way of doing it. So I have my original design here, and I'm just gonna right click that and do copy and reuse CAD. Once that's ready, I'm just going to modify this file for milling. And I'm just going to rush through this and just get this set up for my regular milling. And now I'm going to scan it as if I was doing a regular copy and reuse CAD. Just want to make sure that this little button that says scan try-ins from both sides is clicked on. So I've already scanned these. I'm just going to import them and click through this quickly. And when you're doing this, you're going to scan not just the bite, but you're also going to scan your entire try-in with the wash impression as if it was a copy denture. So then just trim it how you would trim a copy denture. And then you're just going to align everything together. So you're going to have a full copy of your try-in with the wash impression in it. This lower was just being a little stubborn, but we got it to align eventually. And then I just want to double check that it was aligned. So now, just like when you normally do a copy reuse CAD, everything's aligned except for you've scanned your entire denture with the wash impression. So we're just going to click on design and we're going to open that up. I just have one old scan on here from before, so you can see I have a complete scan of my try-in dentures with the wash impression inside of them. But you can also see that it does not make a new model. It still has the old model. It's not going to change. You can see that where the impression is sticking way out. It's still the old model from the first design. So I'm going to make a dummy order and scan in the wash impressions just so I can make some models. So I just set this up for a normal try-in, and I just scanned that. Just click through it quickly. So now I have the models. So this is scanned in from the wash impressions. I just needed new models created in a dummy order. So I'll just close out of that. Go back into my order that I had opened before. This is from the copy and reuse CAD. And we'll start with the upper. And I'm going to load that new model that I just scanned. So the new model of the wash impression. So find that model and load that. Now I used to align the old model and the new model, and you could get a decent alignment, but sometimes it wasn't perfect. It's still guesswork because it's all based off of soft tissue, and I don't want any guesswork. You can see here, so this original model is based just off of the intaglio of a denture, and he has had his dentures for a really long time. So this new model isn't going to line up perfectly. There's a lot of changes to his tissue, and I just wasn't having success lining them up, and I really didn't want to redesign this. The practitioner wanted the teeth exactly the same. He liked it, so I figured I could align it to the intaglio surface of the denture scan that we already did. Now we can't actually align that, so what you're going to have to do is just add in a duplicate scan of the purple scan. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just loading that scan one more time. And when you load it, it'll come in from the same file, so from the file that you're working on, and it'll be aligned exactly in the same spot. So now what you want to do is align your model to the denture. So you want to make sure that they're both set to upper, and then you want to make sure that the top one is your model and the lower one is the denture. So it'll say full denture scan on the bottom and then preparation scan on the top one. If you do it the other way around, you're going to be moving your denture, and your denture is currently in the correct position for the tooth setup that we've already designed. So we don't want to move that. We want to move the model into the denture. So just click move and moved it around. You want to do a 3-point alignment so that the model actually snaps over. If you just do a 1-point alignment, it doesn't flip over, it just kind of meshes in between it. Remember, your model will be the inverse of your impression. There we go, snap together. So now the new model is lined up with the wash impression, and it'll be a perfect alignment. It won't be like lining up the old models how I used to do it. So now we can do the lower two. This method is also beneficial if your first impression was for an immediate denture and you want to keep the same teeth in the same design for your next try-in, but obviously the tissue is going to be changed so drastically from an immediate denture to a final impression. So this is a good way of getting around lining up the models. So same thing for the lower. I just loaded in the denture, and now I'm going to load the new model from the dummy scan. And I'm just going to set them both to lower jaw, just so it's a little easier to find them in the align step. So then I'll click on align and make sure that the model is the top one and the denture is the bottom one. We're aligning the model to the denture. And then again, you want to use the 3 points and just find 3 matching points. It should be easy because this intaglio surface is what created this model, so it should be easy to find some points. And it'll have a perfect alignment. Now you have your new models aligned with your try-ins. And your try-ins, because we did a copy and reuse CAD, they're going to be aligned with the old design. So if you do a cross section here, and there's quite a bit of scan, so it's hard to see, but I'll show you at the end when it's all lined up. So at this point, we're still not designing on these new models. They're just in here as additional scans. You can see that it's perfect alignment with your wash impressions. So now we're just gonna have to save these models in this position and then swap out the scan. So go to the save function in that little menu and click keep additional information. Click on the model you want to save. I just keep mine on my desktop in a folder called scans. You can just name it whatever you want as long as you can find it. So I'm going to call it new upper. Click save. Then click on the lower, keep additional information, new lower, click save. I'm just going to exit out of this. Do you want to save? Click yes. Now with that file, you're just going to click F4 on your keyboard once your file is highlighted. And that's just going to bring up all your scans. Then I'm just going to open another file explorer and put them side by side, go to my desktop, go to my scans folder, and there's my 2 scans that I just saved. So I'm going to go into the scans of this file, find the preparation scan for each arch. I like to do a quick copy and paste because I'm bad at spelling. So once I've copied it, I'll just delete it, drag in the new lower, because we're in the lower right now. Rename the preparation scan to preparation scan. I just did a paste, so it's spelled exactly the same. Now go to the upper, delete the preparation scan, drag in the upper scan, rename it to preparation scan. Close out of those, so you can see that the case still has the old models down at the bottom. If I click off of the file and click back on the file, it will show the new models once it loads. So now I can go right click and click design. And there's a bunch of extra scans on there. You can go through and delete them if you don't want them all on there. But now you can see the models have been replaced and the new models from the wash impression are aligned exactly where they should be. There's one extra scan there of his old denture, but you can see the black lines. It's lined up perfectly, and this is a lot more accurate than aligning it to the old model. Now you just want to go back into your sculpt settings and undo anything that you did in your previous design, because it won't apply to these models. You have new models in a new space. And then same with all of these steps, you might have to redo them because they're not going to be aligned to these models. So you might have to retrace your outline. And my previous design was for a tray, so I had block out turned on, so just make sure if you did any of those things, undo those things. So I turned off my block out. And now when you get to the two setting part, your teeth are in the exact same position as your first design. So when the dentist tells you make it exactly the same, but here's the new wash impression, now you can accomplish that. So the upper teeth will be in the exact same position as you're trying, and the lower teeth will be how you designed them in relation to your upper in the previous design. So now the design is exactly the same, and you have two new models in a perfect alignment. So what you're seeing on the screen is exactly what the dentist is seeing in the mouth.